Hey everybody. So I announced recently that I am going to return to making professional YouTube videos, something I've not done in a long time, and that I'm going to be supporting this endeavor on Patreon. And I'm doing this to deal with some recent financial setbacks I've had to deal with, and hopefully down the line provide myself with some better financial security so that I'm not I'm not completely blindsided when these kinds of problems arise in the future. And so I don't have any dreams of being a massive professional bread tuber. My goal is a modest $800 to $1,000 a month to supplement my existing income from my day jobs. And so in working towards that endeavor, I've been thinking, well, what kind of videos and what kind of content would my patrons enjoy getting into? And would my patrons enjoy, supporting and seeing and that kind of thing? And people have been supporting the channel, have been donating to support the channel for a lot of cool reasons. They like my videos about mental health, about autism, about relationships, and a lot of things like that. And then also, my booktubing and the, movie commentary and music, education, things like that. So there's a whole wide range of things we could do. And for the specific backer supported videos, of which I'm going to do one a month, I thought of this really great, really fun, really cool idea, which will be, I want you guys, my Patreon backers, to be my prompt generator. And what do I mean? So, my favorite author, Harlan Ellison, used to do this thing where when he was traveling in support of, on his book tours, and he had in-store signing appearances coming up and that kind of thing, he would do this thing where he would show up in the morning at the bookstore with his typewriter and sit in the bookstore window, and he would be given a prompt for a story by a random or like a local celebrity, a local newscaster or some local celebrity that lived in the town would come by and give him the prompt for a story sealed in an envelope, and he would open the envelope, read the prompt, and think for a minute, and then go right to writing, and he would write the story, and then that night at the signing event he would read the story to everybody. And I thought, well, that's really cool, and I'd like to do something similar. So I thought I could start randomly selecting a patron every month to give me that prompt. And a prompt is not an idea for a whole story that, pitched to me or something like that. It's a simple idea, it's a simple prompt to just get the ball rolling to, so that I create the actual story and conceive the actual plot and the actual narrative and all of that. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second, but I had this even cooler idea. I thought, I want to randomize this even further. So, there's this thing called the Story Engine. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about the recent and controversial AI tool that can actually write an entire novel based on a based on a user prompt. I mean, seriously, right here on that. But there's this thing that's been around for a while. It's a set of decks of cards, kind of looks like Magic the Gathering or something like that, called the Story Engine. And what the Story Engine does is it comes with these decks of cards that are agent cards, engine cards, anchor cards, conflict cards, and aspect cards. Now, what these things actually are, an agent card is a character type, something that could be used as a protagonist, an antagonist, that kind of thing. An engine card is the I want, what do they want, what is their goal. The anchor card is the physical item that is the physical manifestation of what they're acting towards, and then the conflict card is the conflict they're running into in achieving that goal. And so it's these great little random ways of prompting your mind to start coming up with a story. So, for example, they dealt in this example here, they dealt a hand of story engine cards and came up with a heretic wants to unravel the mystery of a possessed forest, but they must face their deepest fear. That kind of thing. See, that doesn't really generate the substance of the story. It's just the prompt for the writer to then start coming up with the actual story. So here's what I want to do, and this is so going to be so fun, and we're going to have such a blast with this. I've had a recent uptick in contributors to the Patreon, and I really appreciate that, and that's really awesome. And so what I'm going to do is every month I am going to randomly message 4 or 5 different patrons and ask them to give me one aspect of this prompt. So one person will, I'll tell one person, give me the character type, and they can contribute, you know, a lawnmower salesman, or a telephone sanitizer, or a priest, or a homeless person, or whatever, just that kind of thing. They'll come up with that. Another person will be assigned to come up with the want statement. Wants to learn the truth about blank. Wants to find true love with blank. That kind of thing. Then another person will be tasked with coming up with the object of that want statement. Be it a Formula One race car, or a post-apocalyptic urinal or something, just random things like that. Actually, post-apocalyptic would be too much. It'd just be with a urinal. And then another person can contribute the conflict, but they will have to come to terms with, and then one more person can contribute the blank right there, their inner frailty or something like that. And the thing is that, and what got me thinking about this is the story engine is a beautiful product, and I think it's very beautifully done and very imaginatively done. And I thought about getting it for myself as a toy to kind of, experiment with and have some fun with and see what ideas I would generate. But here's the thing. If you stop and think about it, you don't need the story engine to do this. You can just do what I did and tear up a bunch of different character types and conflicts and desires, wants, needs, and desires, and that kind of thing, and dump them all in a cup and draw out what you need randomly and get the same effect. And so, for example, last night I drew out a madman wants to secure the freedom of a long-lost toy, but it would reveal the truth of a deserted planet. I can do a story around that. So, what I want to do, dear viewer, is have my patrons contribute those elements. Every month that I do this, which will hopefully be every month, I will reach out to randomly selected patrons, and I will ask them to contribute one element of the story, and I'll explain, or the story prompt, and I will take from that, I will take all of those, combine it into the prompt that no one person had a single hand or had a total hand in creating. It all came together randomly, and I will take that prompt and write a short story based on that prompt, and share it here on the channel. And then, dear viewer, if this goes well, if I'm able to get this rolling, I want to go one step further in the Harlan Ellison process, and I want to live stream me writing the story. Now, this may not be obviously terribly exciting to just sit there and stare at me as I do it, but you will see me create the story in real time. And, every page or so I can stop and answer questions and take a little break. And, I usually give myself a little break to recharge like that and everything. So I can do that in real time. And then at the very end, I'll read the story to everybody that was created with the prompts. And I'll even go on I'll go show you on camera my Patreon inbox, and you can see that the responses have not been opened yet, and I have never seen this for the I'm seeing it for the first time and that kind of thing. So that's gonna be really fun, and it's gonna be really cool. And for people who, my patrons who want to learn about the craft of writing, this is a great way to kind of learn about the creative process of writing and how story structure goes together and everything, and how these ideas come out of these smaller components and build up this way. So it's kind of what the Story Engine is doing, the Story Engine card game is doing, and what I want to do here. It's essentially a literary version of the improv comedy or the improv theater routine, where the leader of the improv troupe will say, okay, I need a place, and I need an occupation, and I need a type of race car or something, or a type of computer or something like that, and they'll get these random elements and start doing the scene based on that. So this is such a really cool idea. I love I just love doing stuff like this, and it's exactly what I love to do, which is write and tell stories. And this gives the patrons a really fun and surprising way to contribute. So I'll work on getting all of this set up so I can message figure out how to message the patrons and communicate to them what I need. And the way it's going to work, the way the lottery will work, is each time I'll randomly select patrons to participate, message them, and then once they've participated, they'll be ineligible until I've gone through all of the other patrons, until everybody else has had a turn, at which point I will put their name back in the hat and bring them back around for another turn. If you are a longtime patron that has not participated, has not joined in this recent crowdfunding endeavor that I've been doing, if you've been someone that subscribed years ago and that kind of thing, and you want to participate, please send me a DM on Patreon telling me that you want to participate and that you want to participate in this, so that I'll know you're an active participant, and that way I'm not sending a message to someone that hasn't checked their Patreon in 5 or 6 years or something like that, waiting for something that'll never come back. So anyway, it's going to be a cool idea. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what we come up with. I will write these stories in whatever style comes to my mind, be it science fiction, fantasy, speculative fiction, some manner of slipstream writing, magic realism, romance, comedy, whatever feels right for it. So this is going to be really cool, and I'm really excited. So if you haven't signed up for the Patreon yet, I encourage you to do so now. I'm going to kind of get all my ducks in the row with this and get the first round of contributors set up and good to go. And that will be it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we're really going to have a good time with this. People were asking me if I was going to start doing short stories again for the channel, and yeah, absolutely, this will be a fun way to do it. So like I said, please, if you're super into this, which I hope you are, please get set up to donate now, because I do hope this will be a lot of fun and be very exciting. And if I select you for this task, I will send you a special email with a special video explaining everything you need to do. So thank you, and this will be fun. Have a good night.